looking at them throughout the show and commercial breaks. It's pretty much all we do, so keep them coming at hashtag GMFB. Now let's take a look and talk about my home team, the Chicago Bears.
Bear down.
A lot of additions here. You adding Allen Robinson, the big swing at the wide receiver spot. Trey Burton of the Philly Special fame. We have Aaron Lynch as well. They did lose Josh Sitton and a couple guys. No more Pernell McPhee either. But we want to talk about the offseason activity in the NFC North and with the Chicago Bears. So let's send it over to Peter Schrager, who's standing by live right now with Bears GM, Mr. Pace.
Mr. Ryan Pace, Chicago Bears general manager. Welcome to Good Morning Football. You know, I want to go back a year ago this time. All right, and the state of the Chicago Bears, and then flash forward to today. How different is this organization from top to bottom, roster, coaching staff, the whole deal, and how do you as the GM feel about the Chicago Bears?
You know, yeah, Peter, it's obviously been a busy couple months for us. There's been a lot of changes. You know, there's a quarterback change, coaching change. I can just tell you there's a good vibe in the building right now. There's a good vibe in the city of Chicago, and it's on us to kind of carry that momentum forward.
Let's start with the coach because he's been kind of the belle of the ball here at this meeting and also the combine. Just a great charisma, a great attitude, great energy around him. But you guys hire Matt Nagy. Why was he the guy, and how did you identify him and say this is the man who's going to lead the Bears back to the playoffs?
You know, I think just going through different head coaching candidates, you know, as we approach that process, there's a lot of things that Matt that stood out. You know, obviously his offensive intelligence, his creativity, what he did with the Kansas City offense, the Andy Reid coaching tree, that's a very attractive thing. But then when you get to know him, and I think you've gotten to know him, he's just a very natural, authentic, genuine person that has a good blend of intelligence and swag, but he's also humble.
Great.
Yeah.
And you look at this roster right now, and I think Bears fans are excited because for the first time in years, it feels like there's an influx of offensive talent. And you've got Nagy as an offensive coach. And obviously he brings all his coaches with him. Let's start with Allen Robinson. Day one, out of the gate, the Chicago Bears are active in free agency, and they might get the #1 rated receiver on everyone's board.
We knew we wanted to be aggressive, Peter, especially at that position, and so you know Allen's the guy we identified and targeted, and we're excited to have him. You know, he wanted to be in Chicago. He's from the Midwest. He's a big receiver with good hands, and he's definitely going to add to our offense.
Taylor Gabriel, this is the speedster that we've had on our show that we love. We call him Turbo. He calls himself Turbo. What's he going to do to the Matt Nagy offense?
He's just an electric player. So you get him in space, and he can make a lot of guys miss. He's fast. He's good on wide receiver screens. He's got a confident swag to him. His personality is similar to Tariq Cohen a little bit. The more of those guys we can have, the better.
Last one for me is Trey Burton. Mm-hmm. So here you have a championship player, maybe the greatest play in Super Bowl history. He's a key part of. How do you identify him and say, okay, he can be more than just a complimentary guy. He can be a tight end that makes a difference and is worthy of this value of money.
And I think, Peter, one of the things in free agency this year for us was they're all young and they all have really good football character, and that definitely applies to Trey as well. You know, Matt really values that U tight end position, a guy we can flex out and create mismatches, and so Trey's another guy we identified early, and especially the importance of that position. I think you see what Matt did with Kelsey in Kansas City. We can create a lot of good plays with him as well.
Okay, so this division, right? I mean, we could talk all about the Bears, but this division is just loaded right now. And Aaron Rodgers is coming back. The Vikings get Kirk Cousins. It might be even better. And, of course, the Lions have a new coach as well. So for the Bears fans at home, why is this offseason different than other offseasons? And why should 2018 be a different outcome than recent years?
Yeah, you know, I hope everyone's excited. We're excited in our building. Again, you can feel it throughout the city. There's a young team. There's a young foundation in place. There's a lot of good pieces, you know, and it really starts with the quarterback. And we feel really strong about this coaching staff as well. So, hey, we got to hit this draft out of the park. That's going to be here before we know it. But there's an excitement around this building.
Speaking of excitement, I want to ask you to address our two hosts. Kay and Kyle are Chicago. Kyle's from the Chicago suburbs. Kay is from downtown. They are Bears fans at heart. They grew up with Bears fans. What's your message to the fan base right now? Here we are. We're sitting here going into April. Bears fans. Ryan Pace, message to the team.
Well, first of all, we appreciate you guys. We have your show on every morning in our office. We can feel your passion, your love for us, the whole love for the city of Chicago. It's exciting right now, I'm telling you. I mean, this coach, this quarterback, the young pieces we have around. Chase Daniel will get mad at me for saying this, but he might be the only player on our team right now over 30. So it's an emerging team. It's an exciting time to be part of the Bears right now, and I appreciate you guys.
Bear down, Ryan Pace. Bear down. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Enjoy the rest of your time here in Orlando. Guys, I'm excited for Bears football. Back to you in New York.
We are so excited. So is Chester and Basha up in Park Ridge. That's my parents. I know
my mother, Georgia, is thrilled. She can't sit down because of Ryan Pace. It's amazing.
And we love it. We're sitting here talking and listening to Strager and Ryan Pace there, and we're talking about his jawline, of course. But we're also talking about the weapons added on offense. Is there anything else we'd like to see them do?
Yeah. Here's the deal. It's very fun and exciting to add offensive pieces. We love that, whether it's fantasy, reality, or whatnot. I want to see how they're going to hit Rodgers, how they're going to hit Cousins, how they're going to hit Stafford. Now, Aaron Lynch, cool. I love it. Leonard Floyd, great. He said they got to nail the draft. I would love to see them go secondary, pass rush more, because then NFC North, the quarterbacks are so good.
Yeah.
But the Bears are so young, Kay. And I probably should not put this out there, but it does remind me of the young Cubs. We had Schwarber and Rizzo and the MVP. I'm telling you, Chris Bryant, like young guys that they rolled with. So I'm super excited. I have not been this excited since like the early Lovie Smith days. So a little more defense, a little more firepower defensively, but I'm fired up.
But now we're looking for that next wave. I remember when it was Lance Briggs and they had
Talk about it.
Urlacher. Peanut. And then on the offensive side, they had the running back Forte doing his thing. But now we're looking for the new wave of young talent for the Bears. Bear down is what they say. It's what you hear all the time. It's hashtag. That's what people yell at the stadiums. It's what they yell when they're shopping and wearing the Bears jerseys. And I looked it up. It's to exert full strength, concentrated attention.
Ooh.
That's exactly what they're going to need, full strength. It's not occasionally they'll have a great running game. Occasionally, they'll have a good passing game. It's everything, every single game. You can't have a game where you have Cohen and Howard leading your team in passing. So for me, yes, bear down has to be much more than just something you say at the game. It's got to be what you live by as an offense and defense.
I feel like in recent years, this division hasn't been as exciting as it used to be, right? These games haven't been as meaningful, even the rivalry games between the Packers and the Bears. I'm so excited for the division as a whole to be more competitive.
No doubt. And, I mean, the Vikings are all in, as we know. And the Bears are back. I mean, truly, I don't care if they played a game yet. I don't care. They're back because they were aggressive as hell, and it all started with Ryan Pace. They're loaded.
Keep the tweets coming at hashtag GMFB, talking to more GMs out there in Orlando live on our show. But up next, the Bills fan